we have the deluxe craft pads from Hunkydory, and what I love about these is that you get everything, and you get one of each, everything to match with 4 different sets in every single craft pad. I think that's just marvelous. And what can you do with them? Oh, you can do so many things. Let me just show you one that Heidi did just to tweak your interest. So here is a card. We'll get in a bit closer, and I'm going to lift this up. And I'm going to open this and this. I'm going to open this and this. And then we've got the inside. How fun is that? That's just one of the things that you're going to see today on this webisode. Please come play with us. Okay, let me just get into this and just show you what I mean. So this is Perfect Pansies. And in this, I'm showing you this one because it's so colorful. You can see the foil die cuts that Hunkydory is so well known for. There are actually 1, 2, 3, and there's a 4th one in this that I've torn out, and I'll show you what Heidi did. Then we also have some of the foiled adorable scoreable, and let me just show you some of those. So there's going to be 4 of those. And that is foiled. Then there's going to be printed ones that are going to coordinate just like that. And then you're going to get some of the inserts. And the inserts, there's 2 for every design. And you can see it's a ghosted back image that matches the ones on the front. So just lots and lots of creativity in one package. So let's start with Garden Party. That's going to be our first one. And here is the card that Heidi's done. So we're going to get in closer to see what this is all about. And isn't that fun with the teacup, the little bird on it, the flowers in a circular environment? And let me pop this little guy open and let me show you. Okay, so this is an interlocking. Look at that. How fun is that? Okay, in a circular shape. So what Heidi has done is obviously to use the circular cutting dice. This is the 12 circle and scallop. She's just using the plain circles this time. And she did start with a piece of her adorable scoreable. So it's this piece. And she took the circular cutting die, and I'm just going to show it to you on already cut out. So she put the our regular card rather, that is 5 by 6.5 inches, and she put the cutting die on the front of it and die cut it. Okay, and you want to overlap the fold because you want to keep having that fold. Okay. Then she die cut out a second piece, and that second piece, in fact, let me show you. That second piece is, you know what, I'm going to start this over. Okay, we're going to start with the Garden Party, and let me show you that card again, and we'll get in close so I can show you. And this obviously is going to use the circle cutting die, but let me just show you how this opens. This is an interconnected piece, just like that, interlocking, and then it goes like that. How pretty. Okay, now to do this, you're going to start with our cards. So lay the card out flat, okay? And you will be die cutting it, but let's first make it into a gatefold card. So bring the pieces into the center. Okay, so you lay it out flat, there's a score line in the middle, and you simply bring the outside edges in. Then you can go ahead and die cut it. But what you'll need to do is to lay the die over the fold, because you've got a fold on each side, and you want those to stay folded, so you don't want to cut those off. So just push it over, run it through the machine, and that will work for you. Okay, you can, if you want to, you can do a big sheet of cardstock and do the folding and trimming. That's how you can do that. You can also, if you want to, just add this piece separately. Again, it's all up to you. But what she has done is she die cut out of this piece also to go on the front. So she used the circle cutting die again on this area, not with the teacup and the birds, but just this area. And let me just show you, because that is what, I'm not sure if you can see it without the pieces interlocking, but it is just the front part of it. You see all the green area? This part right here is going to be used inside the card. How smart is that? So you're going to end up cutting two circles. One circle over here. In fact, I would bring it up just to get into the foliage. And then you're going to cut another circle over here, lining up that teacup and the little bird, and just cut that. That's going to go on the inside. You will need to trim the edges, but that's fine. Okay, so you're going to die cut that circle, cut it in half, glue one to each of the gates on this gatefold card, and that will work nicely. Let me get that out of the way. Then you're going to take this sheet, and this is the topper set, and this is a set you're going to use. Now, the outside ring, in fact, there are three here. There's a solid gold, the printed, and then the center. The outside one is going to get glued only to the left gate. Okay, so you're just going to glue that half. Then you're going to glue the inner piece just to the right gate. That way they can interconnect just like that. You're not going to use the gold one, so you can save that for another project, but you will use the Many Happy Returns, foam tape that right there, and then also going to use the others on the inside. So this is glued down flat, then your Just My Cup of Tea, that's going to get foam taped right there. Now the other piece that happens here is on the back. And on the back, that way you've got room to write your message. So here is the insert. As I said, it's a ghosted back image. And what Heidi did was once again go back to her circle and die cut it again, going up into the foliage, and then glued it to the back. And then she used the For My Special Friend topper. That is right there also. And so you've got room to write your message. So that's always nice. The other thing that's going on are the ribbons. Now, she has used the ivory collection. You can see that ivory dot right there. The 1/8 inch, which is also part of this, is right here. And then on back, there's another little one. Now, Heidi's secret weapon is Hunkydory's bow maker. So if you are, as we say, bow challenged, this is going to be a lifesaver for you. So that is what's going to work here. Now, the other thing that Heidi used, and I'm hoping you can see this, we may need to get in super close, because she used the very tiny jewel dazzles. So can you see right there, right here on the rim? There you go, those circles. Now, she used the new pearl gold dazzles, and that's what that looks like. Now, just to show you the different types of gold that we have, this is the pearl. It is a more muted. Here we have the diamond. You can see that's very sparkly. And then we have the mirror. This is just very shiny. So 3 different golds. You can just never have enough gold, don't you think? So that is our first card. Really, really nice. Here is our second. This is also out of the same garden party collection. So Heidi has 3 craft pads, but 4 projects to make. So she elected to do 2 out of the garden party. And here is the second one. And this is using, we'll back up just a smidge. There we go. 5 by 6.5 inch card. And this one is really pretty, but it opens a little differently. It opens at the top, and yet it is our same size. So the way that Heidi did that is she first cut a piece of cardstock that's 6 inches by 5 inches. Why does that say flowers down there? And you can see my wonderful attempt at art. This is for the inside of the card. There we go, right there. So she used this piece of the Adorable Scoreable cardstock and cut it down here. So we're going to make it 5 by 6 inches, not 6.5 by 6, and do it where the flowers are. So that's going to be the inside of our card. Then she took another piece, and this is going to be the front of our card, same piece of cardstock, but this time she cut it 6.5 by 5, okay? And then kept the flowers down here. See, that way you know that there's flowers on both of them, and they're both positioned the same way. Just one is 1/2 inch taller. Why is it 1/2 inch taller? Well, so that you can put extra sticky tape right here, just as I've done, remove the liner, and connect it to the back of the other sheet. That way you've got your 5 by 6 inch card all ready to go. And isn't that pretty? Okay. Now Heidi has used, as I said, the garden party, but she's also added some things to it. So let me first show you what she's done in the garden party. This is the sheet. It is called Fluttering Wishes. That's a nice title, isn't it? And as usual with Hunkydory, there are 3 layers to this, these die cuts. She's used the outside painted one with the flowers and the inside one. So you can see that the outside one gets glued down, and then the inside one gets foam taped up. Now, the happy birthday, that is a piece here. That's going to get foam tape in place. Now, what else did she do? Well, she used our Songbirds foiled paper towel. It is gorgeous. In fact, let me show you how gorgeous it is. Look at that with the foiling on the Hunkydory and the foiling on the Songbirds. And what she has done on the Songbirds, in fact, on all of the pieces. So the Songbirds are going to be used right here. And she has used, they have numbers with them. So this has got number 1, 2, 3, 4. But she only used number 2, 3, and 4 to create this piece. So she didn't need this larger piece. So that's one of the things that you can do with paper towel. It's kind of like decoupage, but they're all die cut for you, so you don't have to do any cutting. But isn't that gorgeous? So this is number 2, number 3, and number 4. It gives you that dimension. But the other thing is that they are foiled. So there's art, there's swirls within each of the sections. They're just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And so that's what she's used on the front of her card. She's also added some of the, this is the canary flowers from 49 and Market. You can see the yellow. Some blue ones that we no longer have, but there are some other options that you can use in the collection. And then she added some of the blue shimmer sparkles. You can see 3 in that corner, 3 in that corner. It's just a little touch, a little something more that she has added, and I think it does very nicely. Now her ribbon is out of the pink collection. Again, she did it using the bow maker. Now on the inside of her card, again, she already had that area worked, so she went back into her topper, used this piece and glued it flat, and then she went back to the number 1 and just trimmed out the bird and the leaves. And you can see where she lightly foam taped it right there. How pretty is that? Especially for you, that is part of the topper. And she's glued that there. Now she wasn't done. She wanted to do something inside her card, and quite frankly, since she had an insert, why not? So here is the insert. Again, it's echoing the bird cage on the front of the card, and she simply glued that to cover the inside of the card. How pretty. Very clever idea. Okay. Now we're going to go to a slimline card. Now this is coming out of the Pansy. This is the Pansy Deluxe Craft Pad. So whenever you see Deluxe Craft Pad, this is what it's going to have. It's going to have 4 collections in it. You get 1 of each. Okay, let's get a little closer to this so I can show it to you. And as always, yeah, there you go. We have our slimline cards and envelopes. They come in a package of 10. And in this case, what Heidi did is she used the Windflowers solid cardstock to mat a piece of the Adorable Scoreable. Now, this is the Adorable Scoreable that's foiled. That's not the piece of it that she used. She turned it over and used this area, right? So that gave a really nice border to the front of her card. She matted it on the purple. After she matted it, let me get this away, she took one of the doilies. These are our paper doilies. That's happens to be the item number on it. And attached it with our old friend Sticky Specs. So with the Sticky Specs, I hope you know, they come in, I think now the ones that we have are an A4 size. It's always the same amount of product in it. So you just lift back that plastic liner, place your doily or your cutting die piece or whatever you want right on the dots, close the top, and just gently press. You don't need to press firmly. Don't throw this away because it's reusable a million times or so. And I don't recommend cutting it up. Sometimes people do, but I like leaving it in the one sheet because then you can get any size of die cut used or doily. So you can see that she placed a doily over the corner and then wrapped it around her matted piece and then glued that to her card front. Really, it just adds a little bit, another little bit of frill to her project, which is always nice. And now we'll get into the die cuts that she used. So it's this sheet. It's called In My Thoughts. Isn't that pretty? And it does have the artwork, of course, but it also has this. A mother is always close to your heart, whether near in miles or far apart. Isn't that pretty? She's foam taped that, but before she did it, she used this border and glued that onto the piece on top of the doily, then foam taped this piece, and then she went into this piece. Now Heidi elected to trim out that crate. Just go right along the edge of it. You can do that. If you don't want to do the trimming, you can use this for the front of your card, whichever you like. But that's what she chose to do. Foam tape that in place. The With Love tag is right there. And I think it was fun that she used the 1/8" ribbons to just make a loop behind this tag before she glued it down. And then she made a bow with the bow maker right there. For the pearls, they are the blue pearls, the brilliant blues. She's got one there and there. These are the lighter blue, as you can see, and it goes into the navy blue. And there's a little pearl right there too. On the inside of her card, she's going to do the same type of process, but this time she's used the insert and she has matted that onto, covered the whole inside with the light blue out of the Windflower solid cardstock. There's a little doily right there, right on the corner. And then she went back into this piece and did the oval, a little of the butterfly, and the happy birthday in this, and put those all in place. So that worked nicely. And little ribbons there, bows, and so forth, and that finishes off her card. Really, really nice. Okay, now we have one more card, and that's the one I showed you earlier. So let me bring that in, and let me show you how this was made. So this is, so it's got a top that goes back. Well, first of all, this is out of the clockwork, and I think that this style of steampunk just really never goes completely out of style. It's always a good look. and you can see what she's done here. So this card is our regular size card, 5 by 6.5, but you see this part opens, and then we have the Dutch door, the double door there, and then these are double door, but they also interlock, and then we have the inside. There's a lot going on this card, but it is not hard to make. So let me show you what she did. She first started with her card laying flat. So let me do that. Okay, so it's laying flat. Then you're going to bring the outside pieces to the center. Okay, so pretend that that is our one piece. Then you're going to measure up 2 inches on each side and cut. Okay, so that's going to make our Dutch door. Then you're going to take another piece of cardstock, and this is going to be 5 inches by 5 inches. But then you're going to go on the corner and do it 1/2 inch, and then measure a 1/8 of an inch. Okay, and that's going to give you a double fold. So you measure a 1/2 inch. I know that kind of looks like 1/8, but it's really 1/2, and then 1/8 of an inch to the right of it. And that's going to give you that gusset, because when you're folding over the pieces, I think you can see it there, this gets a little thick because you've got several layers going on, okay? So that's going to be the card. So this piece is also going to get extra sticky tape on it. It's going to get taped to the back of the card front, and it's going to work perfectly. Okay, now let me show you what goes on to those papers. We're going to start with this piece, okay? So this is going to get covered with the insert. Whoops, yes, with the insert. But we're just going to use this textured area. So this is going to be 5 inches by 5 inches. It's just going to cover this top part, okay? So you just simply put glue on it, position this, turn it over, and trim it to fit. Then, to go on the inside of this, let me find that piece. It is right here. It is this. This is the foiled adorable scoreable. Isn't that gorgeous? This piece is going to get trimmed smaller to fit, and it's going to get glued right down. Then she took pieces of the die cuts. So we've got our Dapper Dan, and we've got You're a Real Classic. That is going to go on there also. There it is, You're a Real Classic. And those two, this is foam taped, and then this is foam taped on this side and glued on this side, okay? Then we have our gold and silver ribbon set, so that bow is made with the bow maker. And then these gold studs are in this package, and they're just a wonderful look. So that takes care of this first piece. Now we're going to go to the second piece. And the second piece, very cleverly, so we just use this, so we're going to turn this over, and we're going to use this. This is going to cover all 4 of those gates, starting with these 2 down here and with those 2. I think the easiest way to do this is to take this part. So this is 6.5. We did 2 inches, so this is 4.5. So cut your 4.5 by 5 inch piece, and then cut it in half, and then glue 1 piece to each of the gates. Do the same thing with the bottom, 2 inches up, 5 inches across, cut it in half, and glue it right here. Now, this piece is like, in fact, all of them that we've done this time, Heidi. This has 3 layers. She's not using the gold at this point anyway. She's using the outside and the inside. So the outside, just like a previous card, only the left side gets glued to the left gate. The inside just gets glued to the right gate, but just the right part of it. So right to right, left to left. And you can see that she did foam tape one of the toppers right there, more of the gold studs, and you are done. Just gorgeous. Now, for the inside, okay, remember I said that all of the sheets have 2. They have a foiled cardstock, adorable scoreable, and a printed. Well, with this one, although this has the hot air balloon, she has used this side for this side. So you get this double color appearance. So that has been trimmed just to fit inside her card, glued down. Now, she went back to her topper set, and this one has 3, but she used all 3 together. And as you can see, they were just glued flat inside, and isn't gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. Now she has 2 of the tags, the Enjoy the Journey and the hot air balloon right here. They're foam taped, and the studs. But she wasn't done then. Remember this sheet that she did in the front? Well, she elected to use it on the inside, and it isn't this one, it's another one, but it's the same idea where you're going to use, all of the inserts have this kind of tan texture. So she just simply cut the pieces to fit. Again, it's the same measurement as when we did the gates, okay? So that's going to be the 4.5 by 5, cut it in half, glue here and here, the 2 by 5, cut it in half, and glue them right there, so that you have this continuing look as you have on the inside. So close the bottom gate, interlock these 2, close that, you are done. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous look, and you can do simpler cards too. So that's what we have with the Clockwork Emporium. Excuse me, the Perfect Pansies and the Garden Party. I will tell you that Hunkydory only does these a couple of times a year, 3 times a year maybe, and they are just a really wonderful collection. So if you are interested, we do have a special offer. We have a money saver on the right side of your screen. Heidi has written all of the instructions. They are down below with each of the cards so that you can see exactly what she did and what those measurements are. Now, if you are watching us on YouTube, please, we'd like you to like us. We'd love to hear your comments. I think these deluxe craft pads are quite unique in the market. I hope you agree. And I think it's fun to get so many different looks. Take advantage of the money saver. Pop on over to Hot Off the Press, or Paper Wishes, sorry, paperwishes.com, and take advantage of that money saver. We also hope that you will subscribe to the channel on YouTube. That way you're not going to miss anything. You'll be notified as we do new ones. There are about 20 a month. So we've got lots of ideas to jumpstart your creativity. I want to thank Heidi. Thank you so much for doing such a wonderful job and for making, giving us some new creative ideas. I think that's really, really fun. I want to thank you for joining us, and as always, for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.